result in the destruction of or tampering with evidence relevant to the investigation, result in the intimidation of a potential witness relevant to the investigation, result in the compromise of classified information, or otherwise seriously jeopardize or unduly delay the investigation or another official proceeding. Notification of consumer upon conclusion of investigation, upon the conclusion of a national security investigation described in subparagraph A, or upon the determination that the exception under subparagraph A is no longer required for the reasons set forth in such subparagraph, the official exercising the authority in such subparagraph shall provide to the consumer who is the subject of the consumer report with regard to which such finding was made a copy of such consumer report with any classified information redacted as necessary, notice of any adverse action which is based in part on the consumer report, and the identification with reasonable specificity of the nature of the investigation for which the consumer report was sought, delegation by head of state or department for purposes of subparagraphs A and B. The head of any agency or department of the United States government may delegate his or her authorities under this paragraph to an official of such agency or department who has personnel security responsibilities and is a member of the senior executive service or equivalent civilian or military rank. For purposes of this paragraph, the following definitions shall apply. Classified information. The term classified information means information that is protected from the unauthorized disclosure under Executive Order 12958 or successor, or orders national security investigation. The term national security investigation means officially inquiry means any official inquiry by an agency or department of the United States government to determine the eligibility of a consumer to receive access or continued access to classified information, or to determine whether classified information has been lost or compromised. Furnishing reports in connection with credit or insurance transactions that are not initiated by consumer. In general, a consumer reporting agency may furnish a consumer report relating to any consumer pursuant to subparagraph A or C of subsection A3 in connection with any credit or insurance transaction that is not initiated by the consumer, only if the consumer authorizes the agency to provide such report to such person, or B, the transaction consists of a firm offer or credit or insurance. The consumer reporting agency has complied with subsection E. There is not in effect an election by the consumer made in accordance with subsection E to have the consumer's name and address excluded from list of names and provided by the agency pursuant to this paragraph, and the consumer report does not contain a date of birth that shows that the consumer has not attained the age of 21, or if the date of birth on the consumer report shows the consumer has not attained the age of 21, such consumer consents to the consumer reporting agency to such furnishing. Limits on information received under paragraph 1B. A person may receive pursuant to paragraph 1B only the name and address of a consumer, an identifier that is not unique to the consumer, that is used by the person solely for the purpose of verifying the identity of the consumer, and other information pertaining to a consumer that does not identify the relationship or experience of the consumer with respect to a particular creditor or other entity. Information regarding inquiries. Except as provided in section 1681 GA5 of this title, a consumer reporting agency shall not furnish to any persons a record of inquiries in connection with credit or insurance transactions that is not initiated by a consumer. Reserved election of consumer to be excluded from list in general. Consumer may elect to have the consumer's name and address excluded from any list provided by a consumer reporting agency under Section C1B in connection with a credit or insurance transaction that is not initiated by the consumer by notifying the agency in accordance with paragraph 2 that the consumer does not consent to any use of a consumer report relating to the consumer in connection with any credit or insurance transaction that is not initiated by the consumer. Manner of notification. A consumer shall notify a consumer reporting agency under paragraph 1 through the notification system maintained by the agency under paragraph 5 or by submitting to the agency a signed notice of election form issued by the agency for purposes of this subparagraph. Response of agency after notification through system upon receipt of notification of the election